yeah, we don't know what happened there. We didn't do anything. The camera woman didn't even press anything and it just went. So I don't know how much of, but the good thing is we haven't started playing yet. We've just been looking at a few bits. So can you let us know that you're back?
We got one person back.
One person back. Hey. Oh, bless.
The gremlins are in.
Yeah, that happened the other day as well.
It shut us down.
Yeah. So this one here is absolutely gorgeous. I love this glitter card background on acetate. You know, acetate's super cool. And the trick to painting onto acetate with your watercolours is if you mix it in with like a glossy accent, you know, where you would water your watercolours down with water, use something like that glaze from the Cadence or Glossy Accents, even a bit of the floor polish, and then we'll actually paint onto acetate. And then finally this card here that we did yesterday, this was Debbie's card, the elephant here. Be the elephant within.
Fantastic.
After lockdown I will be being the elephant without.
Yes.
Oh, seriously, there's so many pictures of like people posting stuff on their fridge. Like, go away, you're not hungry, you're just bored. Yeah, terrible. Right, so what we're going to do, let's start playing. So what I've got is I've got my Willow white card, watercolour card's great. The Willow watercolour card is in stock last time I checked, so fabulous. The watercolour card, it's like the clues are there. Is for watercolour, but Willow white card as well is amazing. It's for general purpose anything card, and it really holds up to watercolours brilliantly as well. But what I've done is I've cut a square bigger than I want to end up with, and I've taped it down using my Sheena tape. Again, lots of you have bought it and rebought it because you know it's good, and you don't throw it away. You don't use it once then bin it. You stick it down and you reuse it and reuse it. So I've taped this down. I need some large brushes. I need a big brush. So if you've got this set, the Sheena brushes, the set's brilliant, well done. Good on you. We'll try to get them back, those of you who haven't got them. But yeah, so that's what we've got because they cover all bases. Everything we're going to need is covered there. So really important when you're doing watercolour, should mention I've got my 2 containers here. Always have 2 containers because what you want to get in the habit of doing is cleaning the majority of the paint off the brush in the first container, so you get most of the colour off, and then using the clear water to dilute your next paints. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide what colours I want to use first of all. So I've got my Holbein paints here with a ridiculous number of colours here, but it was my birthday present last year and I think they're lovely. So I do love this opera. Definitely make a colour chart with whatever you're painting with, whatever you're colouring with, pencils, watercolour pencils, acrylic paints, because nothing is better than seeing them on a piece of paper, white background, and then you can see what you're working with. So this, I am definitely going for that, because with making my kind of music, there's definitely bright pink and sunny things in there. But there's also a bit of a dark side sometimes as well, and we're going to do that as well. So there's the opera here, was absolutely gorgeous, love that one. And I'm going to use one of these blues, I love that blue, that's a nice blue there, it looks very ultramarine-y, that might be the blue I'm going to use there. And we want a yellow, so I want a sunny yellow, it might be this one up here. What's going to happen is these two are going to mix together and mix a purple. The blue and the yellow is going to mix together and mix a green. So really you only need, the 3 colours. You can keep going and keep adding and adding colour. But when you think of it that way, it's like, oh, don't really need to, Sheena, do I? Nope, you don't. So what I'm doing, because these are now, they were liquid, but because they've dried out and they've become what we call pans, or these are half pan size, they're dry. So what you want to do is I'm going to drop some water on the top of them so they can start softening the top of the paint a little bit. And then I'm gonna take them to my card. So what was the other one I said? I've got the yellow. Right, definitely be careful when you're wetting yellow, because you do not want to contaminate. That's the easiest to see. If you've got a bit of blue on your brush, you're absolutely going to have green here. So the yellow is probably one of the colour I'll drop on first, just in case I do cross-contaminate. Obviously, if I put a bit of yellow in the pink, I'm going to end up with orange. So all these colours, like I say, the fun thing is they're going to mix together. So next thing is take that big brush, and this is why I've taped down the card, because any card is going to move and buckle. You know what it's like if you've just got a little bit of card and it's cut to size, you've got fingerprints all over it, and you think, oh, where am I going to hold it? And how am I going to get rid of these fingerprints? You need to work bigger if you're going to do that, but bigger anyway. So that, and much easier if you tape it down. Now what I'm doing is I'm really wetting the fibres of this card. I'm really going both ways. And then if you leave it for a little bit, look across it, and if it's shiny, that's what you want. You want it nice and wet so that the paint is, and this is also, funnily enough, you know when you pick card up and you because you know crafters, we like to touchy-feely try to see what a little bit of card feels like. What we're doing sometimes is, especially at the minute, I am going through hand cream at a rate of knots because my knuckles literally started to split because of all the hand washing. So I noticed a little bit where it was repelling the water a little bit. It's obviously the hand cream. So be careful of that. So keep going till the card's really wet. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the colour and I'm just going to start dropping some on here and there. And I'm going to try and not put it everywhere. I think I'm going to go brighter with this yellow. Now, if it hasn't started running as much as you want, you want it to be wetter, just drop some water on it. But be careful because this is we're going to want this to run, but we don't want it to run away from us. So as long as this background's wet and we're putting the wet colour into this, we should be fine. So this is what you call a wet into wet technique. And Diane, who teaches watercolours, will know all about this. But what I'm doing again is I'm thinking about where my colours are going to blend together. So I'm going to put some blue down here, and I should have left a little bit of that to put a little bit. Let's pop a little bit. I want to just pop a little bit more water on this just to drag this out a little bit. But I still, remember, if you dilute it, you're going to end up with less intense colour. And watercolours always look stronger when they are wet. Once they're dry, it's like the colour thieves been there and pinched your colour. So we'll put a little bit of blue here, and I want to pop a little bit of this blue down here to get a purpley colour. There are no hard and fast rules here. Willow, we tried an experiment. You know, Willow is scarily intelligent, and we stand no chance to her, Maria.
Mm-mm.
So normally, you know, she has a dentist stick. We get the bigger ones because in my mind, you might as well get the bigger ones because they're about the same. They work out cheaper. And even though she's just a little one, we'll just break them in half. But she knows she gets one half and then she'll not let it lie until she gets the other half because she knows it's there. But tonight we thought, right, we'll split them into 3. She knows twos, but does she know 3s? Oh yeah, she's just been up there, Maria. I know there's another one there. So, you know, as if we doubted the girl. So can you see how strong this colour is here? Now what I'm wanting to do is just encourage a little bit of a bleed away from this edge, but I don't really want it to start drying. I want it just to wick away from that centre, from that, you know, harsh edge line there. So just a little bit of water and a little bit of agitation. I like that yellow there, so I'm going to continue with a little bit more just there. And now at this stage, you could pop a little bit of salt on this and that would look really super cool as well. Now we're going to get green here. See, like a greeny colour. Now don't be tempted to go over the top with colours, because that's where it can get a bit kind of not good for you, because you could end up with brown. Really quite easy to end up with brown. Colours that are opposite on the colour wheel, which, you know, don't even stress. Just know that if you had like green and pink, red next to it, you're going to get brown.
Okay, let me jump in and ask something here, Sheena, because we had a problem, just so that everybody understands what happened, is that Facebook just completely turned itself off, and filming stopped. So we've had to come out, start again, and obviously some of you have then caught up with us and perhaps come in once this demonstration's already started again. So what we've got here is a few people confused with what's happened whilst they've been away. So can I ask, if you're confused, and only if you're confused, can you give me a thumbs up, please, so I can see how many people are behind the curve?
I don't know what happened.
There's quite a few, Sheena, so
right, okay, we'll talk through.
What my head is saying is you either give them a talk through, or have you got another square of paper where you can start from.
Right, what we'll do, we might do this back to front. Let's continue with this card as it is, because it just means drying another piece of card, taping it down and everything like that. But we'll do that at the end. So all I've done, guys, I'll talk you through this, all right?
Whilst it's drying,
Yeah, I've taped a piece of willow white cord. Can you all hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me while the heat gun's going. Great. So I've taped a bit of white cord. It could be the watercolour cord, any good, suitable, about 300 GSM cord with not a high chalk content is what we're looking for. So that has been taped down to keep it from buckling too much and getting too out of control. And all I've done is use a big flat brush like this one here.
Okay, what number brush?
This one is a 20 flat brush from my set of brushes, but something similar. You just want a big brush, because what you want to do is you want to put a lot of water on the background, and really it kind of sitting on the surface. And what I then did was choose 3 colours and just drop them on, not in an impressionistic style where you're going to do little 3 dots together, little 3 dots, all the old telly things. Remember, we used to say the telly things were made of those 3 colours. We used to have them together. Okay, tangent. Remember, I'm doing retro again, guys. You like the candle wick and the flannelette striped sheets yesterday, so I'm sure you'll be with me on the telly thing. So you don't want loads of little dots next to each other. You want them spread out. So you've got a chunk of pink, a chunk of yellow, a chunk of the blue, but then you've got areas where the borders are going to merge and they're going to mix together. Without too much encouragement from you if you've got the card wet enough, and that's going to give you this really cool kind of swirly, cloudy, ethereal look for your background. But what you want to do is, if it starts to run, like my card buckled and I started to get a little channel down here, a little river, have your large brush dry and clean. Make sure you've got your kitchen paper near you all the time, and just put it in, and it'll wick up that excess colour for you. Right. And so, because you don't want it to be doing that a lot, because then you end up with a muddy colour, because it's going to do all the things you didn't want it to do, as in, you know, mix together too much. So now you're going to dry this until it's flat, because until this is properly dry, you don't. I'm going to increase the heat now, because I'm lucky I've got a 2-speed heat gun. So I started lower, and the reason was because I didn't want to chase the paint all over the card, because if it's so fierce it'll go as if you're blowing it with a straw. So I just wanted to gently heat it to fix it where it was, and now I'm drying it a bit more fiercely because we want to move on.
Okay.
Alrighty?
Do we know if Sheena stamping card is available?
I do not know. You know what, I'll be honest guys, there was a lot of stuff that was in ships and didn't get here, because the Sheena stamping card come from Italy, and you know what things are like now. It's like where the office, bless them, iHub and you know, behind the scenes creating craft, I just so appreciate what they're doing, because it must be an absolute nightmare trying to keep everything going and against the odds, really, what they're doing.
And they're working in shifts through the
night. They're working, yes, so there's less people in, and you know, it's just because I'm lucky enough, because of thanks to Mel, to be able to stay safe here. Bless them there. They're just they're coping brilliantly and doing the absolute best they can. So, you know, things are going to be a bit quirky now and again, but it's not for the one to trying, definitely. So we've got that there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I think I'm gonna trim it now, because that's where, now you see what you want. Now when you take this off, you pull away from you when you lift the tape up. It shouldn't damage your card. See, I'm pulling away like this, and that's the fabulous thing. It's stuck really well, but it isn't pulling any surface off. Well, it's super sticky, but no damage to the surface of my card, which is what you want. And this is why you save this stuff, put it there, and then we're going to use that for another 2 or 3 cards, just like that. Now I want to, I had a piece of cord that I trimmed to roughly size. I was going to use, there it is. So I'm just going to get my trimmer and start trimming down. It doesn't matter, as long as it's square at the end of the day. I want a squarish piece of cord Thank you very much. And that's me happy.
Willow white is available. Somebody just kindly
Yay!
looked for us.
Fantastic. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm so happy about that because we have waited quite a bit for it and you've asked about it a lot. So I am very happy. Seriously, guys, there's people who have the willow white and say, well, we need more. When are you getting it back? Right, that's slightly smaller than the other one. So yes, I'm absolutely over the moon at that. Great. I'm going to trim a little bit more. I'll trim down. I like this where it's got that little ripple there, but I'm just trim a little bit off just to make it a bit more square. So roughly that's what I'm going to work with.
Karen says she always reuses her tape because she's tight. I think it's thrifty.
Thrifty, Karen. I would say thrifty. Right, so, oh look, full on colour. Oh, very, very pretty. So what I want to do now is I want to do a couple of things. I wanted to, on my card, I had like because the kind of music I listen to is, and the kind of, you know, like I said, the days you have sometimes they're a bit on the greyish side, but they can be good days too. You know, I like a good rainy day. So I've tried to represent more of a muted kind of monochrome side here, but then across to the full spectrum to full colour. Not a little bit deep with it. That's where I was going. That was my motivation with that. So on this side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Old Faithful, if I can find it, my black suit, and a blending tool. Blending tools are fine, but my little daubers are few and far between. Again, they're in a bag. So what I'm going to do also is decide which side is going to be the dark side and which is going to be the light side. I wonder if that could be darker and this could be lighter here. I might do this darker here. And I'm just going to go and just blend. Now, if you find that this, it should blend well because this is willow white card. And that was, we tested so many. I mean, really did. It was so funny. Short of lab coats. We were in my studio and we had piles and piles of card and we had a method, we had a process we put them through, didn't we? Every single card was noted and marked up, you know, on a scale for where does it score for that technique, what does it score for this technique, until finally we had our willow white card that worked brilliantly for all the things that I and the team and hopefully you are going to want to do. So I'm creating this darker side here, this bit grungy side. This is what I like, a bit grungy. Sometimes I like a bit of, you know, a bit of a little rock, you know, and you know, a bit of Bowie, a bit of that kind of thing, you know. And so there on that side.
So does that need glycerin?
No, it didn't, because actually it's such a good card. I didn't actually use any glycerin on there. So, but if it do find it's difficult to blend, then you can add a little bit of glycerin. But I would take the colour out of your ink pad and then pop it on your, take it off, splodge it on there, put the glycerin on your applicator a little bit, splodge it in, and then do it like that. So that's my, that's the dark side. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my watercolours. I've already got a really nice light, where's my applicator, light yellow here. It's strong enough, I'm liking that. But if you did want to bring out a little bit more of the colour that you've lost, maybe it's faded more than you wanted it to fade, I'm going to take a little bit of this opera. Actually, you know, I'm going to do that again. I'm going to take that and I'm going to take a touch of, oh, I didn't put the glycerin away. Right, let's hope that it's going to work okay with this. There might be enough, there might be some glycerin still on this applicator. Try a bit of scrap paper because you don't want to go in there too, or a little bit. I'll bring out a little bit more pink there. Oh, look, I picked up the dark. Yeah, we've just gone dark side to dark side. I'm not going to do any more in there because we can. The thing is, we're not done with layering. If you, every one you do like this is going to be different, because what we're going to do once I've dried this is we're going to start. We're going to stamp a little bit on it, and then we are going to stencil on it. And we may even faux bleach on it because I've got a trick I want to show you and tell you about. You may or may not know. So, and it's a great, like, you know, get out of jail trick with watercolours. So let's try that trick I was talking about. Let's see if it works with this. I haven't stenciled like this, but I will tell you what it is and what it can do. Right, if you make a mistake with watercolours, it's really hard because these are pigments and they're not like dye, they lift really easily. Once they're dry and they're set, and especially if you heat set them, they're doing their job. They don't faux bleach. They don't lift again, which is why we can do what they call in watercolour circles, watercolour artists, glazing, which basically just means layering up colour. So if you had a yellow background, yellowy wash of the background, and you put some blue dilute over the top, parts of it, the bits where the two are mixed, you're going to get green. All right, it's because they're both transparent mediums, you're going to see the mix. So that's glazing. But if you make a mistake or you want to faux bleach, these things here, these are those, you know, those magic sponges you get, and you can get them super cheap. I think like in the pound shop or something. Then we get loads of them, and just cut them up into smaller bits. These lift the colour. But I haven't stenciled doing this yet, so why not wait until I can make a fool of myself with lots of people watching, and we'll give it a try. Oh, my stencil's wet, hang on. Oh, gee, there's soap in there. Right, knowing I'm on a log again. So any stencil will work, anything that you've got. If you haven't got a stencil, use a hole punch and punch some holes out with a bit of acetate. They're just circles I want here. So just a bit of texture is all is good. So I'm going to pop this in where that is dark. So I'm going to, what I want to do is make sure that it's going in a straight line, which that isn't. Yeah, it's hard to, that looks like it's going like that, doesn't it? And yet I don't think it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking this with a bit of clean water, but wrung out mostly so there's hardly any in it. All right. And I'm going to go across. Oh, look at that. You see, look. It's just lifted it like an eraser. Now you want to be careful because you don't want the water to run underneath if you can help it. So you might not. I'm going to take some more water out of that so that there's hardly any in it, and just drag across the surface. All right.
So a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Look how cool. Do we like that?
Yeah.
You like that, Maria? Didn't
I like
you?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Camera woman's happy. So what I can do is I can just keep, again, trying to keep these, in a straight line. Maybe if I line that one up there, I can continue a little bit more. But definitely, hardly any water is the secret to your success. Have a bit of kitchen paper and blot as quickly as you can. And I like where you've got the lighter bits and the darker bits in there. I want this to be I want it to be lined up, but I would like that. Let's try that there. I hope it's straight-ish. Get me the wet bit there.
Karen says, wouldn't it work dry? I don't think it would.
No, it doesn't, Karen. You need that little bit of moisture in it. But virtually, just bring it out. I just think that's... I didn't do that on the original one, and I wish I had now. Because it was just, you do that. This is the thing, because I'm like... got locked down as well. I'm obviously drawing still, so working from home anyway, not that much has changed, but because it's kind of fun doing the lives because I get to play more than I normally would. So I'm playing and experimenting, with you. It's cool, really, isn't it? Effective. Really effective, yeah. So, of course, if you had larger circles, it'd be look a bit like that bokeh effect, wouldn't it? So we'll pop this. Just those circles, those ones there, because it's partly erased, I'm just going to pick those out a little bit more. There. All right, I'm happy with that.
So Karen's saying, where can she get these sponges?
Have a look online. I bet you get them at Amazon. But have a look at the pound shop. We got ours at the pound shop. They were dead cheap. They're just called magic sponges for the cleaning, like household things, aren't they?
Yeah, they take pen off your chairs and things like that if you've got
But they're not abrasive, they're just like a dense foam.
Cheap as chips.
They're very cheap. I think that we've cut about 6 from one size sponge, we got about 6 that size out of it, didn't we?
Yeah, so that is cut down, so don't be looking for little pieces like that.
Yeah, definitely. They're a good block of sponge there.
B&M sell them as well.
Yes, there you go, all the posh places.
Thank you, Lisa.
You know our life now.
Yeah. We hit all the expensive shops, like Harrods,
Marx's, Waitrose, at least. Yeah. All right. So that's what we meant, of course, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
so no. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stamp some little bits on the side down here. Now, on the previous one, I used a grey. I used London Fog. I wonder if I should use a bit darker, smoke VersaFine. We'll check out the colours here. London Fog, because that's quite dark on that one, is that. Okay, whereas this one is that, so it's quite a bit darker. We might see this one better, but because it's VersaFine, remember it's oily and we're going to have to heat set it. So I'm going to ink this border. This is on the other plate, because the point is that they all mix and match as well. All of these things, let's do it from there, do it at the bottom. When I draw everything, I draw a collection, and then I decide which ones I want to put on which set, you know, which ones would work together. So more than likely, everything that's brought out together isn't meant to be used in isolation within that set, if you can afford to invest in the others, of course, which is, you know, what we understand. So that there, so we've got this pretty background detail going on. Are you liking it, guys? No response?
Yeah, I think they've all gone to sleep.
Oh no, wake up! Not anymore.
The problem is, you see, that Karen's told them that there's skinny whips in B&M.
Skinny whips?
Yeah, if you need a chocolate
Oh, they're
hit.
lovely.
Yes.
Oh,
so
ours didn't have any.
Everyone's thinking skinny whips and chocolate hits
Oh, they're
instead of
absolutely,
crafting.
yeah, they are lovely. Right, so I've got this pattern here. I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Just don't want too much. But what I do want is I want to colour in these a bit darker. So I could use some of my black watercolour, but you know what? I might just use a bit of my black suit. So I'm going to take that out there, and I'm going to take my brush here and just dilute it down a bit. Because this has gone darker than the other one, I'm going to have to go a bit darker with the colours to make it show.
I think that little shout out that you did has woken them up.
Yay. My gift to you.
Ruth, she's done it again now. She said she loves a skinny whip.
Oh yeah, skinny whips are lovely. You haven't had them, have you, Maria?
No.
Oh. I looked for them, they didn't have them. Yeah. Had to just stick with me sugar-free jelly. Ooh.
See, they're all sharing skinny whip stories now.
I know.
What have you done, Karen?
It was the bedding last night, wasn't it? I was so amused at how many of you was like, yeah, I remember that. I tell you what, we're laughing about bedding again today, weren't we, Maria? Talking about the putting duvet quilts on and things like that for some reason. And I was talking about when duvets first came out. My mum used to call it, because I think she had a bit of a hyacinth bouquet thing going on now and again, the continental quilt.
Yes, we had continental
Continental
quilts.
quilt.
Yes.
First time I should put it on the bed, I was blinking freezing. God, I think she didn't quite grasp the tog thing that was going on, but she swore that it couldn't be freezing. It must be all right. But then my mum's thermostat was never right from all the time being a kid growing up. Oh, we were never sweltering hot in the house. She was always too hot. She was always having a hot flash at some point. So you'd be freezing. And there was all my quilt, you know, wasn't doing the trick, I've got to say. I had to find the love again with the continental quilt.
I wanted one for ages. My best friend, his name was Simon, and he got one when they first came out, and I was so jealous because, you know, you have to make your bed if you've got sheets.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
with
exactly.
a continental quilt, one just gives it a puff and chucks it down.
I like that. You know me, you know that's my kind of housework, don't you? I tell you the other thing.
Well, you don't even do that.
Well, you see, she had to see it, didn't she?
Sorry.
You know, Waitrose Marks, if you don't mind. And yes, I am the domestic goddess. Remember what we said?
Oh, yes.
Remember now?
It's all coming back to me.
Yeah.
Skinny whips are only 99 calories.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
That's
I know.
done it now. I'm going to have to try one.
They're much better than those Fibre One bar things we got. They're all right. They're called Fibre One. They're about 90 calories, but Skinny Whip's like proper chocolate bar. They're nice. Right, so I've got that little bit of thing going on there. Oh, sorry, I just borrowed that. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to do a bit of stenciling with the watercolours. So a few more dots because we need more pattern down this side. So back to the stencils.
Now we do have lots of people in from across the water in America. Could everybody give a nice heart to our American friends, please? Share some love.
Fabulous. Right, where's my dauber? There.
Yeah, look at all that love going out. Hands across the water. Oh man, that looks lovely. Loads of hearts. Look at that.
Oh, a good bunch, aren't they?
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody. So I'm going to just try. Now I'm doing this. I'm just splodging through this stencil. Oh, look again. I've got another thing I'm going to have to disguise it. Oh, I won't have to erase. I'll take it off. Try in a minute. In a monologue, Sheena. Remember, in a monologue.
Wow, the hearts are still going. Wow.
Can't see the yellow very much there. I'm still playing, just talking to myself. It's all good. Right. I'm pleased that you're all showing the love. That's brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Could you imagine if this had happened a few years back before Skype and being able to, you know, keep in touch with people?
Oh, it would have been hideous.
Oh, God, wouldn't it? So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to stencil selectively through some of these, just so that where it hits the pink, you're going to get a bit of, orangey colour coming through. I've got to be careful with this one because it could go a bit browny looking, as you can see, and I'm trying to keep them straight. I want to do a little bit of the pink dots down that side. That. But I am really limited on me. Normally I've got loads of these and it's not a problem. You know, you would just you'd wash them. I wash these, I don't know about you, but I wash them put them in the washing machine and they come out fine. They stain a little bit if you're using like a dye-based ink, but if you 40 degrees, obviously no fabric conditioner, and they're good to go again.
Your white blouses are never the same. But...
No, they're not. Yeah, a bit tie-dyed looking. Yeah. Yours came out lovely though that time, didn't it, Maria? Remember?
Soon to be made into a face mask.
Yes. Right, just like that ethereal, just here and there, now and again. But again, you know, because my applicator is not clean, I'm not getting that bright pink thing going on. Oh, I just remembered, you know what I've got here? These. Oh. I bought these and forgot I'd done them. Thought I got them. Yeah. So let's try. Oh, a little bit of more the opera. So I'll tell you what I was thinking. Just as an extra, just because I want to and I might have some time. Does anybody fancy saying, well, I'll do it anyway. You know, you might not want to tune in, but just, I'm going to do it. I might do a little bit of me, my pyrography art now that I do this.
Now that you're brave, I thought you were still practicing.
Of course I am, yeah. But that's the beauty. Because the thing is then you can say like, look, genuine, like, we all have to learn, don't we? And yeah, I think that's fine. Don't you think that's fine, peoples? Yeah, I don't care. You've seen me, honestly, you've seen me make many mistakes anyway, then I'm supposed to know what I'm doing. So I might as well just come clean and say I am absolutely just practicing and learning. But that's the fun. But I'll show you how it works. Some of you might, wood burning or pyrography. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's better. It's a bit more pink. Right, I'm going to dry this now.
And Benjamin Cooper's joined us.
Benjamin Cooper in the house. Now, thing is, Benjamin and everyone else, what I did on the previous one is I used my white gouache. You see these white dots?
Yeah. To
put some white in the background, but of course now that we know that eraser erases it so well, if I want some white areas over here, if I think I want to balance that out, a bit more texture, that's all I need to do. So I'm not even going to use my gouache on this one.
Wow.
tell you what, if you don't have the white gouache, I'll tell you, if you do have the Cadence white gesso, that stuff is really white. It's really opaque, and that'll work for you until you get one of your magic little erasers that I've just lost. Do we know where it is?
Yes, in front of you, next to the...
Yes, it's hiding. There it is.
Yeah.
As if it's not really tidy or anything. How'd that happen? Right, so squeezing, putting some water in, then squeezing all of the water out. Most important, I've found with this secret success. So those of you who didn't see it before, this is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to this is a bit dark in here, so I'm going to pop a little bit of dots in there. I'm going to pop it about there. I just want to make sure that they're kind of parallel. Down here. Right.
Ben, I haven't forgotten about your photos. Been promising this poor lad photos of when I went over to Germany for ages for his wife, and I still haven't done it. I'm sorry.
I'll sort it out, Ben. It's all right. Reminder. Maria photos. There. See, look, how cool is that? You don't even need the... That works a treat. Is that where you're all shopping for these little things?
Yeah, B&M's going to be busy tomorrow. And Target and places like that in America.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say again, you know what? My Facebook page is going to look like a house cleaning shopping list. Again, come on! We're absolutely repurposing all the house cleaning stuff. Hey, crafters unite! So I'm going to post the floor polish that we can put to good use. The two that I mentioned, and I'll post, I'll try and find the magic sponges for you and post what you're looking for. How about that? And then, it'll give you a warm, rosy glow to think, look at me buying all this cleaning product. We know better. I've told a lot of you about the pie dish incident as well. Many moons ago, before I did television or any professional crafting, I did a couple of demos in a local shop. Just popped in, would you like me to demo? I was doing it for the goodness of my heart. I thought I was just going to do it because I'd just got this amazing die cutting machine at the time, which was the Spellbinder Wizard, which nothing else was like it. It was at the time you either had the Sizzix one that just went two plates you pulled together with a handle, or there was an AccuCut big, about 500 quid machine, which based on rollers. Well, of course now they've come on and morphed into something amazing with all the electronic die cutting machines. But with the Wizard, we were making charms and things. So if you get because it was based around, it was so tough, and it was actually Stacey Karen, who's Stacey, lovely lady who owns a company. Jeff, her husband, actually made the first 2,500 in his workshop at home. So these were all metal made, and by having an original product like a key, if you had a key, house key, and you want to make a key charm, you could put foil over the top, and then the rubber shims, because you could just alter the sandwich to whatever you want, and then crank this thing through. You would get a fabulous embossed impression that you could then cut out. We used to fill the back with nail polish or a glossy accent or even polyfiller to fill it in to make it strong. So we did all this. So this one workshop, this one demonstration, I was showing people how to do this, and I discovered through play that you didn't have to buy craft foil, you could use pie dishes, and depending on what the pie was, you got different, they all had the pluses and minuses. A small pie dish, you got loads of detail. You know, like individual cup, mini pie, mince pie. But it didn't hold the shape as well. However, if you went for your turkey platter, you get hold the shape, no bother, but you could lose it. So the local DIY shop at lunchtime, everybody trooped out. He had the biggest queue he's ever seen. It's just a local little village. He couldn't believe his luck. Queues of about 20 people buying pie dishes. And I think this poor bloke thought, right, that's the future. We're going to up the order by hundreds next time, because I'm not going to miss this one again. I don't think he maybe sold another pie dish, but that was the pie dish incident. So, but that's the fun, is finding things that you can use. So this is what we've got there. All right, that's it there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my stamping platform. If you want to look at that while I have the rummage, that's all right. Thank you. I am seeking and I'm not locating. It's here somewhere underneath something. Oh, I think I put it right next to me. Excuse me, hiccups, so that it was there when I needed it. All right, so I'm going to put this down. Now these come with, this is the independent stamping platform, which is great, and it's a great price. It's a really good little stamping platform. But what it comes with is magnets, but I kind of bypass the magnets because I find that sometimes the stamps, and depending on what ink you're using, can lift and move the card. So, and I don't want to do that because then you can't overstamp it again, can you? And of course you would normally butt it up against that, but because I use the tape, I'm just doing it this way. So I'm going to tape this down quite well because I want this background to be really dark. So the ink I'm going to use is going to be the VersaFine, but black this time. Onyx Black VersaFine. This is the ink pad I go to if I want a black detailed image. It's, as I said, it's oil based. It's really thick and gloopy, and it clings really well to whatever stamp you're using, but most importantly, you retain the detail and it transfers to your image really well. So we're going to pop... Oh, God, you know what I already did there? Did you see?
Go on.
I hadn't positioned... I thought I'd positioned it, but I didn't. Whoa! A boat, Douglas, a boat. Hang on. These are all for you, these things.
What, the little...
The little things, yeah. Like this, yeah. The gifts. Right. Oh, I'd left it on there, hadn't I? So I knew where it was. And then I'm just carrying on, chitty-chatting. Of course, you've got to position it where you want it to be. Oh, hello. Which would be about there.
You know, something weird has happened. I can see people's thumbs up and hearts, but there's no more comments.
Oh, Facebook is just being a delight tonight, isn't it?
Yes, it's really standing us up.
Oh, man.
Can somebody type something? See if there's...
I know you haven't all gone quiet.
Or they've gone to sleep again.
I know you haven't. They're all shopping again, aren't you?
Yeah.
Pie dishes now. Oh, no.
Quick, B&M shops at 8.
I'm telling you now else. Right, so can you see how now we've got that really bold background there? So I'm going to go over it again because I want this to be black, the black to be really black. Now this is where, if I want this really to stand out, get a bit of embossing powder on this as well. And you can do that with VersaFine because it stays wet long enough for you to do that. So let's see what we've got here. Yep, that looks all right. I'm going to stick with that.
That's nice and black.
Yeah, it's very, isn't it? So we'll take that off here. Now the important thing is the other thing about, something on the floor, VersaFine is that you need to heat set it. So do not forget to heat set it because it'll going to smudge if you don't, because we've got a lot of ink on this as well. And the thing is we're going to 3D the headphones. I'm going to show you how to do that. So, and don't forget, these are all going to be, I don't know if they're on the site yet, but they will be with Mel tomorrow at 8:15. I'm going to be watching and cheering on. I might even phone in. They'll probably not let me through if I do, you know. I'll be like, no, we're having some peace. Leave her where she is. So yeah, so obviously it's going to be weird.
Yeah,
it's going to be
weird.
strange, yeah.
You'll be there in spirit.
I'll be absolutely there in spirit, definitely.
Cheering you on, Mel.
Absolutely.
So the last thing I've got on my screen is Benjamin Cooper joining. So Ben, I think you've crashed the system.
Thanks. Cheers, Ben.
But having said that, I can no longer see anybody's questions or comments. So I'm going to have to rely on you guys, DT, to answer questions for us if you wouldn't mind. Thank you very much.
Oh man, honestly, Facebook, come on. I wonder what's going on. We had the Gremlins yesterday, wasn't it yesterday? That it was going a bit quirky. Right, so I've got this here now. What I'm going to do is I would map this onto my black card, which I've got here. And
wow, that makes it pop.
Yeah, it really
away.
does make it pop, absolutely. yeah, once you trim it down, and then once you, and I've got a base card here, so before I trim it, I want to see how square it is, because I don't do measuring, as you know, it's all by eye with me. And so I'm just going to pop that on there and see how square it is. It's not. Can you see I need to trim a little bit off the side? Yeah. So I'm going to do that. Sounded quite.
Thank you very much. There, thrown in.
Make a little card there now. We'll trim it, slice a bit off the side, and so it's square. Remember Ask Elvis? Anybody else remember Ask Elvis? I loved Ask Elvis. Elvis with Steve Wright in the afternoon knew everything. Anything you wanted to know about plumbing, having a roof fixed, any theory, any theory in physics, anything, Elvis knew it. And he'd give you in that kind of style of a response. Yeah, he'd probably know about crafting. I bet if you asked Elvis, he'd know all about this. Slice them, keep them straight there. Line it up against the pearl card. So, yeah, everything's by eye, and by with a nail kind of nick in the card. That will go on there. Thus.
It's awful not being able to read the comments.
I know.
I can only imagine what they're saying.
We saw a great Elvis impersonator last year, didn't we? He was brilliant.
Oh, yes.
So can you see how that's looking?
Yeah.
But I liking it, but it could be better. And here's how I'm going to make it hopefully better. Let's stick that on there, because I think there's not much. I'm going to do a little bit of paint on there. So let's just, tape runner. Whoa. These are like gorgeous. I love my tape runners. Definitely. Oh, I've got to say, I bought this massive thing.
I've never seen a tape runner like it.
Oh, it's huge. Honestly, you virtually need two hands to use like this. Spool like this. I saw some scrapbookers were raving about it, and I thought, oh, okay, this looks good. I'll get it because it'll last ages. And yeah, heavy duty, go for it. Oh, I can't use it. It's yeah.
It's mega.
It is. It's a beast. It's a beast. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give that Elvis guy a shout out. His name was Ben Portsmouth. Is Ben Portsmouth, and it's the closest thing you'll ever get to seeing Elvis live, if you see what I mean.
He was brilliant.
Going to a concert.
Yeah,
he is absolutely phenomenal. Look him up, Ben Portsmouth.
Yeah, he was amazing. Right, so we've got the card there. Should we send this out to somebody when we're done? If we can we? I know we don't want to go to the post office if we can help it, so you might not get it until next week's shopping outing day. We're only doing one a week. That's all I'm saying, seriously. As a necessity to get to what you need for provisions. So what I'm doing is I've cut this, I've stamped it again, and I've cut out just the headphones. Yeah, and I'm giving it a bit of a movement like this. So, because the thing is with your decoupage and something, you want to give it a bit of shape and articulation, and have it reflect sort of the shape that you want it to. So I'll do this here and that there, and then we're going to glue it like that. So now they've got that really nice and white, and I'm going to use my pin flare, Princess Pin Flare. Thank you, Christine. We had such a laugh years ago. Oh, we were on the cruise, the crafting cruise, with Christine, and we were all on the same table. There was Dawn Wheeler, Christine, me, and the lovely Sarah Middlesop, and we had the best laughs in the evening at dinner. Oh, it was so funny. Yeah, you're going to have to ask Christine about her shopping exploit, looking for a newspaper in Holland. That's all I'm going to say. She didn't end up in a newspaper shop, just saying.
I think I know where this might be going.
So, yeah. Christine, cheers for the glue, lovely. It is brilliant glue. I'm just going to stick that there like that. And that's all. I didn't even stick any on here because you don't need it. But I did want plenty on the bits that are domed because I need to keep them really proud of that. Now the final touch on this card is going to be a little bit of gouache. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Oh man.
Oh, Sheena.
Oh man. I'll try and do it. I coloured these a little bit, just give them a little bit of grey, bluey grey on here, because I did want them to still stay white and bold.
Oh, you can still do that.
I'll try it. All right. Let's do that bit first then. I'll tell you what, I'll do it with a bit of black soot. I might as well. It's there. Let's do that. And my brush. Oh, you know when you heard that noise before, and I looked and I couldn't see what it was. Oh look, my brush handle sticking to me thing, meat glue on it. Does this look familiar, people? Yeah. Can you see how much I'm trying to be tidy when I do the tellies? Right. Okie doke. So we have this. I'm going to wet it a little bit.
Black soot.
Black soot, yeah. And then just drag up here a little bit like that and flick it out so that I'm following. I don't want to go watercolour here. I'm going to do just quite a dry brush because I don't want it to run away from me. I want just a dark area where those lines are. So quite bold where I've shown where the lines for the shading are. And it just give it a little bit around where the adjuster is. And it just gives it that little look of that chromy kind of retro look there.
Accentuates the curve.
It just does, yeah. Yeah, good to accentuate the curve. If I had any in the right places, I would gladly do that. Yeah, mine are quite unique. Mine are like, when kids draw like a person at school and they do a circle with stick arms and stick legs. Yeah, that's mine. That's my kind of curve. Right, okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of this. This stuff is just, you need this in your life. This is the white gouache, is the opaque watercolour. Now, this one is actually better. The deal I've only found better than the Winsor & Newton. But, in the Winsor & Newton, respect. But the deal around is actually fine small opaque. So I'm going to use it, not very dilute at all, with a very small brush. And what I want to do is put these highlights back in those little splooshes there that I've drawn, those little teardrop things there. So again, not blending it out, keeping it really quite defined where the line is. This is where you want a good small brush.
What size brush is that?
This is I don't know what this brush is, isn't one of mine. I don't know, it hasn't got a number on it, but I can't see mine in there. Just for speed, I just picked it up. So, like it's probably going to be like a 1 or a 2 if it's a good. This is not a great brush. Can you see the way it's splitting? I'm having trouble. It's got hairs. Can you see the little hairs pointing out at the very end? It's like, Yes. I'm going to have words with it later. But just for the purpose of letting you have your life back. See how that makes it pop? See how much more impactful it is than the other side. You still not got anybody comments or anything?
No,
maybe they've all
Pat
gone.
Bailey watching, but I got no comments. Hi, Pat.
Is it just us and Pat Bailey?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. They're all shopping.
You, me, Pat Bailey and the design team.
Yeah, well, cheers guys, sticking with it. Love you for it. Just that little bit, that plug-in bit. And there you go. There's the card, and we'll send that out to somebody.
Very pretty.
So if you want to stencil over with a little bit of the gouache and have a bit more texture, you can. You can put some of the fabulous Cadence products on, like the clear modelling paste would look great to give it some shine, because that would be great. Mix up the matte and the shine on there as well and go a bit more mixed media with it. You could get your pencils and do some squigglies in it or anything. I tell you what I did on this one as well. I did a little bit of the little dots in the wording just to make it a little bit sharper. But as you can see, that was the one I made earlier. And this is the one I just made. Both, I like them both, but you tweak it slightly every time you do it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second one's even more vibrant.
Yeah, very vibrant, isn't it? Yeah. Super vibrant. So we'll send that out to somebody. So let me show you this little couple of things I'm doing with me. pyrography thing, which is what I'm playing with at the minute. So anybody who does this, I'm definitely a rookie. These are the only two, I'm showing you them again because they're the only two in existence, because the only two I've ever done. Apart from this one I did as well. So that was the first one I did with the thing from the set, the flower from the set. And this is sycamore. Oh no, it's not, this is beech laminate. But the wood apparently is really important. So this was on that. So it can be a nice little, put a little thing there, a little hanger on there, finish it off or something. And then this one is the sycamore, to see what the difference when burning the wood was like. But what I was really impressed with was being able to get the shading on the eye, which is what I'm learning, because you do that with a pencil, and I can do that easy peasy lemon squeezy, because, you know, it's what I've done for many, many years since being a young'un. But doing it with fire, with a tip that's only just burning wood to different levels of burn to get the shading, is quite a different skill. So I'm learning. This was a tiny little bit that we bought. This was funny. This is why you shouldn't buy things online all the time without being aware of numbers. Just saying, Maria.
You're going to show me up now.
I am totally, because Maria said I've ordered some lovely plaques for the wall. That's the back. She thought it was going to be like this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then when they arrived, the little baby ones. However, the bamboo, because you obviously can't buy anything anyway, you got to order everything. The bamboo that she ordered for the sweet peas, that stuff's an inch thick. These sweet peas, tell you what,
Jurassic bamboo.
Jack's beanstalk would be supported by these things. Triffids, you could retain a triffid on these bamboo poles, I tell you. So this is, so scale difficult. And this is the one I just thought I'd have a little try, freehand, doing a little tree just quickly, because I was so desperate to have another little try yesterday at some point, because I didn't get to play yet properly with them. And that's going to have more shading on it. I'm going to do a bit more shading, and a little hanger as a little gift.
Okay.
So that's the pyrography. So if you want to see me playing, I'm happy to do it as a live while I'm playing, because I want to play again. So if you want to see what it's all about, I'm happy to just tune in on Facebook, and you can see it may go horribly wrong as well, because I can see I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Okie dokie. Well, let me give a quick little shout out. Karen Rawlings, are you still in the house? Now, how are you going to let me know?
Yeah, we don't know.
Can you send me one of those little things that's not a thumbs up, a laughing face, or a heart? Is there a different one? And there's always a delay at our end for some reason.
I don't know where Maria's going with this, but I'm getting used to it.
Karen Rawlings.
All right.
Something different.
Are you receiving me, Karen Rawlings?
Over.
Kilo Romeo, over.
Oh, well, I've just had a sad and angry face. Gosh, I hope that wasn't Karen Rawlings.
No! Who was that? Come on, fess up.
I'll find you, you know.
Yeah, we will.
Okay. Karen
right.
Rawlings, you are the winner of tonight's card.
Oh, is that why?
So I need you to send us on a private message your address, please.
There you go. No way to go with it.
And if it was you that sent the angry face, we will know where you live.
Yeah, we will find you.
We will hunt you down.
Yeah. How are you?
Oh, got angry faces
again. Oh man, I'm going now. Goodbye.
Stay safe, everybody. We'll be back again Sunday, if not before.
Bye.
Love to everyone. Bye.
Stay safe.